Welcome back, everyone, to OpenLine. We are talking about charter schools and concerns that some have about how they're growing and some of the bills that are in this legislative session. Happy to have with us Amy Frogge, former Metro School Board member. And we've talked a lot about charter schools, but now we want to talk about some solutions. Final segment here. What are some things? We need to improve education. We should always be trying to improve education. So that's what they say they want to do. How do we do that?
So we can end on a positive note. A lot of complaints about charter schools. The first real solution is to adequately fund our schools. And you hear a lot of chatter about, the privatizers want to say it doesn't matter how much money you give schools, but there are studies out there that say that when you give schools adequate funding and it's properly spent, then you get better outcomes. That is just a fact. We need to respect and pay our teachers. We are in a period now of really deprofessionalizing teaching, and teachers have been so under attack for so long. This is part of the privatization movement, partially because there are private interests that want to sell cheaper teaching forces, basically. They have like TFA, Teach for America, and again, these are well-intentioned young people, or the New Teacher Project. They will bring in teachers that have 5 weeks of training, and districts don't have to pay them as much. Or they may want to privatize teaching because you can use part of the day online. You can be taught by a computer program, and that makes money for people. But also, teachers have been demonized because it's part of the failing school narrative. So we're really in a crisis right now, nationwide, where people just don't want to be teachers anymore, and I don't blame them. And we've also tied their test scores, which are largely based on socioeconomics and other societal issues that teachers can't always control. We're evaluating teachers on factors out of their control. So we really need to get back to a place where we are trusting and valuing our teachers and paying them a livable wage. In Nashville, it's difficult for teachers to live now. And then a wonderful solution that I've learned a lot about on the school board is this concept of community schools. Community schools are different than neighborhood schools, but they are schools that start out as just a neighborhood public school, and they receive wraparound services and extra funding for students in need. So there's a great program, and we have them in Nashville. We have a great program here, and we have another version in Memphis, but there's one in Knoxville that is connected with the university, and they bring in university students to help out during the day. But the school is tailored to the community. So if you have, you have a school that you may have like a community garden where the parents can go work in the garden and harvest vegetables, and the kids get that experience. Or if the kids need a washer and dryer, you could have that available on site. Some of them provide as much as health care or dental care on site. A lot of them provide after-school enrichment activities and a safe place for kids to be after school, so they will provide the arts. One of the ones I visited in Knoxville had a circus program, which sounds really crazy, but it was really fun. The kids were doing gymnastics and circus activities. But it becomes a very bright, vibrant hub and a center of the community. And
that's community schools.
Those are community schools, and and that doesn't take away from anything. It's not, you're not privatizing anything. You're creating this extra value for that community, and that bolsters not only the kids but the families.
It's interesting what you said about teachers, because one of the things you hear is the teachers union is trying to, do this or that, or kind of stop reform. And you think that's part of the demonization?
Yes.
I don't know if that's the right word of I guess. Yeah. Of teachers in a way, right? Part of the attack on teachers.
Yeah,
and we only have 30 seconds.
Okay.
So what about that in 30 seconds?
Okay. Yeah, but really we've got to get back to valuing our teachers and creating a vibrant community for students in our schools.
All right, well, thank you. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap everything up right after this.